Hello, this is your host, Ravoc, and welcome back to Timberborn. Update 7 happened on May 8th, and I am really excited to try out this new zip lines and tube ways update that they've got, which is included zip lines for the folktails and tube ways for the iron teeth, as well as three-dimensional terrain, which means we can make overhanging terrain blocks and actually grow stuff on them, as well as tunnels, which means now we don't have to worry about burying stuff. We can just dig right through the ground. And several other tweaks and upgrades that they've done. So why don't we go ahead and start a new game? We're going to join our faction, the Folktales, like we always do, because we love the Folktales. And we're going to try this on one of the more difficult maps, Thousand Islands, which has got a lot of little bits of land in a large amount of water. So this should be interesting. We've got some planning to do if we're going to survive this. We're just going to keep it on normal mode. I am terrified of hard, honestly, in this kind of map. All right, here we are on our new island, and we need to name our settlement. So since we're on the Thousand Island map, we're going to call it dressing. Seems appropriate. Here our little guys come out, ready to start working. But we're going to actually pause, and we're going to start planning things out. Now let's take a look at this map. As you can see, it is just enormous. There is a lot of space. And my main goal on this map is going to be getting everyone up here to this upper plateau and then raising them up above the water level, blocking off the entire four sides of the map with levees and completely filling in this whole thing with water. With the exception of areas like this where the bad water sources are, we're going to actually make tunnels going straight down so they can access that for bad water to make extract. And the underground ruins where we'll be able to excavate infinite supply metal scrap. And we'll need to also create a channel dam like we did in the last playthrough so we can divert any bad water tides that happen off the map and make sure that they don't go down into our actual water source. We're also going to need to block up all the bad water sources. That way they don't spew out bad water into our pure water, causing a disruption in our ecosystem. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 total bad water sources that we're going to have to block up. So this is going to be a mighty project. So let's start off with the basics. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and lay down some paths here. We've got some basic paths laid down. What we're trying to do is basically cut off the blueberries from spreading too much farther. So we'll have to get rid of these two. As well as we're going to need to also expand and divide our area up a little bit so that we can make some food as well as keep lumber going. So we're going to pattern our cutting like we did before and make a checkerboard pattern. But we're going to take out this top area completely and we're going to checkerboard down here. So we're going to wait to cut down there until we're done with this top area. So let's go ahead and set some lumberjack flags down. And we need some berries. So let's get our food production started. Put that berry gatherer right here for right now. We need to get some water up and running. So let's go ahead and take this out real quick. Get some water here next to these staircases. I think that's probably the best thing to do. And we can just kind of connect it all together. We'll pause the first two here. That'll work. And luckily we have stairs going across this channel divide. So that's going to help us out. We're going to path that up real quick. Whoop, boom. Oh, perfect. Right in front of that. And we're going to also clear out this area, this island, and get rid of all these trees and make this our farming area. Mark all those trees cutting. And then we're going to get a farmhouse down real quick here. So let's go ahead and put that right in this little nook. That's going to cover most of the area. And I think I'm going to add another one up here on top of these stairs when we get the rest of this cleared out. And let's get some woodcutters over here to clear this area out really quick. And once we can clear some space out, we're going to go ahead and put some food down here for them, some crops. But we're going to start off with some carrots right off the bat. And I think dividing this down the middle here, this might be the best place. You see, as I'm putting this down, we now have a new little grid number system above what we're doing. So it shows us that I've got a 7x7 plot of land right here. So this is perfect. We'll drop that right there. And like before, delete the center one because that's where we're going to put beehives in the future. Let's go ahead and drop, I think I can drop. I'm not going to get as many sunflowers out of this field, but that'll work good right there. I think that's nice. That works out. And same thing there. Plan for the future. All right, now we've got that all squared away. Let's go ahead and start them up and get them building. And as they're getting their colony up and running, I just want to thank you for coming down and watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I really appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I really need to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit those notification buttons as well. And then give this video a like and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of the series and what you think of the channel. All right, while we've got that going, let's go ahead and up the priority of some of these jobs here. So the lumberjack flags we want on a high priority. We want gatherer flag on a high priority right now. We're going to also up the workers on the water pumps so that they're a high priority. And we're going to also make the farmhouse a high priority. Now, these jobs are essential jobs. Granted, they are the only jobs right now, but they are vital to the future of the colony. Let's get them sped up and working. We like to see our beavers working hard. What? And always, as they're clearing out, we're going to drop paths down so that way we're not picking up any stragglers. No more little trees are growing. We want to make sure that this stays nice and clean. There's more baby trees that show up, harder it is going to be to clear this thing out. And they've already started planting, so we've got food already growing, which is important because they're going to need that food as quick as possible. Our beavers are probably a little agitated. They need to get some housing down. They're sleeping on the floor. So let's go ahead and drop some housing while we can. This will start them off. The other thing we need to do is we need to get science going as quick as possible. So let's go ahead and drop an inventor's hut real fast. Because next thing we're going to do is we're going to start building our dams. And we need that science to start that off. Okay, these guys are done up here until the rest of this grows. So let's go ahead and see how these up here are doing. We've got a lot of trees that need growing, unfortunately. Another thing I should probably do is put down some wood storage. Let's go ahead and drop that right here. Easy connection. Make it easy for them to get to all the lumber. And let's unpause this next water pump and get them working on that. Once we can get some of these trees out of our way, we'll be able to put another house down here and then move our lumberjack flags. And I need to remove these two bushes really quickly. So let's get these marked for destruction and kind of put them on a higher priority. We're bisecting our little island here, make things a little bit easier for us. Yeah, I can put a science hut over here. Let's do that. More science, the better. And let's select wood in our storage. So that way they put the logs in there. And now we've got space over here. We can actually put down 2 more houses. So we can actually start making some beaver babies, or kits as they're known. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select a bunch of trees down here at the bottom for cutting. They're going to open up some spots over here, but we're going to move one of our lumberjack flags down here next to the staircase. We're going to destroy this other one, open that space up. We're going to make this area a house. And this is now going to open it up so that we can actually start getting 3 new beavers. Once we get the second house in, we'll be able to open it up and get a total of 18 beavers. And that's going to help us out. And one of the other things I'm going to drop down right now is a couple of campfires, improve that well-being score just a little bit, and also make it a little bit easier for them to reproduce. We've already got a well-being score of 5, so they're a little happier. And so with 5, we get a 20% bonus to our working speed. We get a 5% bonus to our movement speed, and when we hit well-being 7, we'll get a 20% bonus to our life expectancy, making them live just a little bit longer. Look at those guys just enjoying the campfire, sitting back, relaxing, covering their privates, warming those tails up. They're so cute. And we just made well-being 7. That's terrific. So now they've got a little bit extra life expectancy to them. Now I'm trying not to destroy any seedlings, because with seedlings, we'll get some more wood, and it's going to actually help propagate our trees a little bit more. Because the first thing we need to do after this is making a lumber mill and adding a power wheel to it so that we can start making planks. Because we're going to start needing planks for various other things, including the forester hut. We need that forester hut immediately. We need to start producing wood on a regular basis. And one other thing I'm going to start doing is adding some small tanks over here by the pumping stations, just so we can get some water storage going. We're going to need that because we're going to have a drought probably in the next few days. Let's add water to the designation on these small tanks so they can start filling that up, getting ready for our first drought. They are making short work of this territory up here. It's terrific. And I know many people don't take the time to actually put these little road pieces down to get rid of the stumps, but they bother me. Stumps bother me for some reason. Like, they kind of annoy me. So I like getting rid of them. The bonus is wherever there's road tile, they can't grow new trees, so that actually helps out a lot. Okay, we've got the tree growing that we need to get rid of, so we can move this lumberjack hut over there. Let's get that prepped and going. There we go. Go ahead and drop a lumberjack flag here, and we're going to destroy this old one. Now we have 2 lumberjack flags exactly where we need them. And we're going to open up this little space here for another house. And now we have housing for 18 beavers, giving us the right amount of beavers we need for the jobs that we're going to be producing. Slow this down a little bit here, and we're going to open some things up. So we need to open up all this area where there was pathway. Next thing we're going to do is move this gatherer flag all the way to the end, because we need to start putting some food storage down. So we're going to drop some medium warehouses along this path. Drop one for the berries, put one for the sunflower seeds, put one down for the carrots. Now we can start storing food for our dry seasons. The next thing we need is that lumber mill. So we're going to drop it down right over here, and we're going to put a power wheel right behind it. We're going to make these jobs a priority. Terrific. We've got a good starting base here. We've got the lumber mill working. We've got power for it. We've got some wood storage right nearby. We've got a couple of water pumps. We've got our water storage. And we've got food storage. That's going to make everything really good. And I just realized that he can't access too many of the berries, so I'm going to move the sunflower seed storage to the other side. That way he can access all the berries. Now once we get some science going, we're going to unlock that forester hut, as well as a couple of other things. And let's drop an efficient farmhouse right here on the top of this little ridge. We're not going to need that right now, so we're going to pause it, but it's now in place. And since we cut all the trees off this top section, opening it up for us, we are now going to checkerboard this little crescent moon shape. Let's go ahead and do that now. Swap a path around this whole thing and just start deleting in a diagonal pattern. This is going to create us a self-propagating tree farm. So that way we don't have to worry about getting that up and going right away. But as soon as we get that forester hut, we're going to start making a tree farm, because we're going to need all the trees we can get. One of the bonuses of not cutting this down right away was also that we got some extra trees growing. There we go. Checkerboard pattern to get yourself a self-propagating tree farm without needing a forester hut. And there's our first drought approaching. On day 14 of the first year, we've got 3 days to get prepared, but we're doing pretty good right now. We don't have our dams put in place, but I'm not too concerned about that yet. Fortunately, with this little reservoir of water here, a lot of our crops will keep growing. Now they're nearly done clearing out this top section of trees. Once that's gone, we'll be able to plant some more food. And our drought's already started. All that water's just gone away quickly. And we've got the new crops in. Unfortunately, portion of them are not going to get planted or grown right away. And the range of the farmhouse is kind of limited. So once we get this other farmhouse up, it'll make things a little bit easier. Now we've got plenty of beavers. We've got 15 adults and 3 children. And we've got 140 science. Let's go ahead and unlock a couple of things. First thing, let's unlock that forester hut. It's only 30 science. We'll need 10 logs and 7 planks to build it. So fortunately, we've already started working on those planks. And we're going to drop that guy right here in this little nook. Thankfully, it connects to all of the crescent, so we can start planting the trees we want to plant now. Let's go ahead and cut the rest of these down. Yes, I know it may have seemed kind of pointless at the time, but it's better to be prepared and ready for all those trees in case you don't unlock something really quickly. Now we can actually plant, which is really helpful. Thankfully, it was only a 2-day drought, so the drought has already ended. We're into our 2nd year of this new season. You see the water is flowing in. We're on triple speed, so it's flowing pretty quickly. Actually kind of cool. It's kind of calming to see that flow just come down. Now, since we have so much science, let's go ahead and unlock our next thing, which is going to be the levee. 120 science. Each one's going to take 12 logs to build. So we're going to go and drop some levees right across here, stopping short a little ways, because what we're going to do is we're going to leave this open so that once we get some floodgates built, we can actually manually control the water coming in. Now, across these little gaps here, we're going to put some dam pieces down. Let's go ahead and just go across this one here. And I don't like corners, which drives me nuts. But let's go ahead and just drop this right there and across here, giving us kind of a cornered piece. And on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to want to stop the water from coming in when it goes bad tide. So we want to place, let's just do it right here, right where these corners are. And same thing, get a space open for some floodgates once we unlock them. And then we're going to dam up this corner here. You know, I'm just going to do it as it is, much as I hate that. And that'll work out. And right up front, we have natural dam blockage, so we do not have to worry about anything here. We will probably want to destroy these eventually so that we can get our own dam pieces so the water can flow freely. But for right now, once we get this blocked up, it's not a big deal. And we're going to also make sure that they can get down there. So we're going to need to unlock these wooden stairs, but we still have 4 science that we're going to need. That should happen pretty quickly. Actually, it just happened. Let's go ahead and unlock these stairs. And that way, we can make this a little bit easier for our beavers. Right down here, one of our woodcutters has a chipped tooth. So we are going to have to put in a teeth grindstone. Go ahead and drop that right here next to that staircase. That way they can easily get to it. Ironically, it's only made of logs, so I don't know how well it sharpens their teeth. Maybe it just buffs them down so that they're sharp. Kind of like a barber's razor blade on that leather. Kind of just sharpens it up by swashing it back and forth. We've nearly cleared out this crescent, so we're going to be able to start planting there really soon. Actually, we can start on the right side here, or their left. Let's go and drop a small patch of oaks in that area. That'll be good. And then let's get some birch really close to that. And we're going to just kind of get that about 5 wide, I think. That'll be good. We're going to go ahead and drop some pine on the left side. Now we can just keep that going. I like that idea. And then some chestnut trees and some maples, just for some variety. Actually, let's make these maples here. And the only reason we're doing that is just because that way we have a variety of woods coming in, and we have different growth times on them all. As you can see, birch is 7 days, pine is 12 days, chestnuts are 23, maples are 28, and oaks are the big daddies at 30. So they take the longest, but they provide the most wood at 8 logs per tree. So that should help us keep growing and cutting through the year. But realizing with this map, we have a lot of little islands all over the place. We need to access all those islands. This is where the new zipline system is going to come into play. That's going to be really helpful for getting to all these little islands and getting their beavers to their jobs. Another thing we're going to have to do is figure out how to dam this water source up and divert it once we get a bad tide. The other thing is getting all those beavers over here and getting all the wood for it. So we may have to make a couple of tree plantations, probably like on this little island right here, and get that wood up there. Right now, that's a concern for another day. Our main concern is getting all this blocked off, so that way when a bad tide does come, we don't have to worry about it. And once we hit a drought, we have water reserve left over. And we're 1 point shy of getting our first floodgate unlocked. So once the day begins, we'll get that science point, unlock the floodgates, and put them down. And boop, there it is. Let's get that first floodgate unlocked, our single tier floodgate. And we're going to place 2 floodgates right here and identical 2 floodgates on the opposite side. Those floodgates are going to help protect us when a bad tide finally does hit. And our food is doing really well. We have 100 berries, 89 carrots, and 19 sunflower seeds. We also have 180 water stored up. And we've got that teeth grindstone in. Looks like he's just buffing it out right there. The sparks flying. There's the other guy going. Yeah, that's not disturbing at all. We'd want to put your face to like a grinder. We're going to fill up the rest of this island with our crops, making sure that we have plenty of food for our beavers.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
We put out a bunch of sunflowers and carrots around this whole thing, so now it is fully covered. Adjusted the positioning just a little bit, so that way we can cover it entirely. We'll have 3 major patches of carrots and sunflowers, as well as 1 extra patch of carrots that all take beehives, and then just some outlying sunflowers and carrots around, so that way we've got a large amount of growth going. I think since we've got a good amount of planks stored up, we're just going to pause our lumber mill and our power wheel and open those spots in the farmhouses so that those guys can go in there and do work over in the plantation. And that way we got a lot more food coming in. And our tree farm is nearly planted, which is terrific. So we're going to be in good shape for a little while. I think we're in a good position right now. All we need to do is get those dams all built. So I'm going to let it run for a little while, come back and show you the results. Now I was just thinking, while they're doing all this work, I might want to start laying down the groundwork for diverting any bad water coming in off the map. So let's start building this out. Now, if you watch this all the way through, you're probably wondering, what is he thinking right now? Plain and simple, I need to keep the water at a specific level so that the flow will continue outwards. I'm blocking everything up at the same height so that it will force itself outwards. If water gets trapped down below, I can't get it out. So it's going to cycle as bad water. So I need to keep it flowing. Now, granted, it's not a lot, but I'm not making a reservoir out of this. I'm just trying to get the bad water coming from these sources here around and out the back when it happens. Not perfect, but it will work. In these open sections here and here, there'll be floodgates letting water out so that we get pure water going directly to the colony. The floodgates over on this corner are going to let the bad water out this way when we close these floodgates up. I probably should put more here just so that it flows fast because that is a lot of water sources in the back. But for right now, this should work. I just need to get some more platforms unlocked so I can finish this up and we should be good. The other logistic problem is getting all the wood to make all this. I'm going to have to make a bunch of tree farms. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is not something that's going to happen right now, but it is something that's going to happen. Yeah, that is our mega channel dam that will divert all the bad water out and around when we have bad tides. I think that'll work. Theoretically, it should work. All right, we'll see you in a few seconds here once they've completely built all the dams down below and we can make sure our beavers are safe.
A few moments later.
Welcome back. I just realized a mistake I made. I just realized that when pure water mixes with the bad water, it neutralizes the bad water. Regardless of how nasty it is, it's still good until it gets completely cleaned out. So I'm going to destroy all this interior that I just put down and open that up because regardless if there's some bad water mixed in with it, it's not going to matter. It'll get flushed out eventually.
Much later.
And there we have it. All the dams are built. We can now effectively keep some water down here, but we won't be able to go through a drought yet. But these barriers will help protect us from any bad water that's coming. Some plants will probably die, but that's okay. We're going to start working our way up this left side, get to this next island, and make this into a tree farm. So we got more lumber coming in, and keep working our way up till we hit this edge where this large amount of scrap metal is, and eventually start taking that scrap metal down. If we can start building some of these dam pieces across the front, we can probably save up some water in this area and make this a little green. And then we can make another colony up here and make this into like a lumber yard. That way we can start using beavers up here to construct this large dam and make that a temporary settlement. And as we go up, we're going to start building dams across these areas that are kind of bleeding water out of our settlement. This way we can store a large amount of water, hold it so we can bring it into our settlement, and we can kind of make sure that we have enough water for everybody. So that's the next step. I think we did pretty good. I changed a couple of things. First off, this front area, I found out after the drought happens, the bad water sources would bleed over and kill the existing plants around the outside edge before they got diluted. So I made them more resistant by putting birch and pine in, and that way we can get trees growing fast enough before a drought that we can get the lumber, and then if they die, they can be easily replanted and they grow fast enough. We won't get as much lumber, but they are faster growing trees, makes it a little bit easier. I then added a second forester, placed a bunch of oaks in this small section, and added some dandelions and berries just to kind of fill it out. So it looks a little nicer. It looks prettier. And then I added a staircase here and a staircase going up from this dam to get to this little plateau. And we're going to extend this range all the way up. I also added some extra water storage because they were getting thirsty on longer droughts. So we wanted to make sure we had plenty of water. Aside from that, our farm is doing wonderfully. We are getting plenty of food to the point where we are not harvesting the crops as much because we have more food coming in than we do beavers. And that's okay. Them not having to work so hard is a good thing. Yeah, that's our new settlement. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. I want you to do one thing. In the comments, I want you to suggest a name for District 1. I want to replace that name with one of your suggestions, and whichever suggestion gets the most likes, that's what I'll use. But that's it for today. Thank you for coming down and watching. I really appreciate you. This is going to be Lakota Ravoc signing off. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. What was that? You're welcome, buddy.